join the NPT. Would Israel join? I mean, would that change? Actually, Emily, Dr. Landau of the INSS, when we see Israel there and we hear Zarif saying whatever he's saying, all of this, also, I guess both of you would agree with me, is leading up to June. It's all these tit-for-tats of little diplomatic moves. Can Israel join the NPT that way? I mean, why didn't we sign the, we didn't ratify the agreement.
No, we never signed it.
We never signed the agreement, exactly. Shouldn't it do that, actually?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, the reason why Israel never joined the NPT is, I think, because Israel is assumed to have crossed the nuclear threshold somewhere around the late 1960s, and probably before even the NPT was opened for signature. I think Israel made the calculation at the time that it was not going to join an international treaty and then cheat on it. And therefore, it took the decision to remain outside the NPT, even though Israel has paid a price for staying out of the NPT. In other words, states that join the NPT get benefits, right? They get benefits, cooperation on civilian nuclear issues, which Israel didn't benefit from because of its decision. Israel's, nuclear policy is based basically on the creation of an insurance policy for its continued survival. And that's very real. It's not just, a phrase or rhetoric. This is why it was conceived back in the 1950s. This has always been the rationale. This was the rationale behind the agreement that was reached with the Americans in 1969, which actually created Israel's policy of ambiguity. It's a policy of being low-key, restrained, and very responsible.
Isn't it a policy, though? Yes, but isn't the policy that at this day and age, specifically at this time leading up to June, and even if Israel was sitting there as observers, is slightly problematic leading up to June, and overall deals that, and we all know the deal that we're talking about, that are about to be signed or might be signed?
Look, first of all, it's only problematic if you're blind to the fact that when we relate to nuclear issues, we have to also relate to context. We have to relate to the country in question. Israel and Iran are not the same in any respect. Israel has a record of being an assumed nuclear state for over 40 years, a record of restraint and responsibility, a record of being purely defensive in the nuclear realm, a record of so many conventional wars that have been fought, unfortunately, with the nuclear issue never being put on the agenda, even in 1973, when there was thinking that Israel was
annihilation in the Yom Kippur War.
This is a very clear record. And also, even if you're only looking at the nuclear issue, there are so many questions with regard to the deal that might be secured with Iran. There's so many holes in what we know already that, I mean, Israel has actually all the more reason to remain with its current policy and not to even, think about changing that.
And the fact is that Israel has been seeking, cooperation through this international forum, through an international forum that has something to do with disarmament, has something to do with non-proliferation, and has been trying to seek dialogue. It just wants to do so while it is assured that this will not only be about singling out Israel, and that has been the case in the past few years because of the natural Arab bloc against Israel. There is room for discussion. That is what Israel is saying. There is room for discussion. There is room for dialogue, but we need to do it on a different term, and one that assures us that we're talking about regional security and confidence-building measures, and not only about non-conventional weapons. Right. That's one of the things. And the other thing is that the Iranians, the fact that we are talking now about the Israel joining the NPT is part of an Iranian attempt to divert the agenda from their nuclear program. This has been, it was declared quite clearly by Mohammad Javad Zarif as he arrived in New York that this will be one of his attempts, and it seems like it's doing well.
That it's working that way. Sadly, we have a second.
Oh, okay. Well, just to underscore what you said, there have been 5 informal meetings that have taken place 2013, 2014. Israel has participated in every one with high-level representation. That's a message that should be on the table at the RevCon.
Emily, Dr. Landau, thank you for being with us. First, the news. Stay with us.